Hi, I'm Dr. Patty Barch. I'm a traditional naturopath and the founder and owner of Naturally Unbridled Wellness in Onalaska, Wisconsin. This video is about autoimmune issues, and I'll give you a brief explanation about what those are, how they occur, and I'm going to bring in a special guest to discuss some of the reasons why some of the modern recommendations, shall we say, may not be such a good idea. But let's start. So what is an autoimmune issue? So an autoimmune disease is a situation where your immune system fails to recognize self as self, and your immune system starts to attack your own cells. So this is often started with some kind of infection or exposure to a foreign protein that triggers the immune response. So, for example, there's something that you may have heard of called leaky gut or intestinal permeability. And what can happen there is some inflammation in the intestines. And typically the cells in your intestines are like really tight together. And your food, as it goes through there, the nutrients are absorbed through special cells in the lining of the intestines. But if you have inflammation in the intestines, then those cells that are supposed to be tight, they get a little puffy. And when they get a little puffy, proteins can get out of your intestines and into your body cavity. And when those proteins escape your intestines and get into your body cavity, your body recognizes that those proteins don't belong in there and starts to mount an immune response against it. And in order to do that, you have special cells that will tag that protein with an antibody so that other cells can come through, recognize that as a bad thing, and attack it, break it down, digest it, etc. So those little antibodies that fit on that foreign protein can sometimes also fit on a protein on the membrane of your own cell. So it works similarly to if you've ever put the wrong key in a lock, and the key goes in, no problem, but it won't turn. So it can work similar to that, like the key will actually fit in a lock. And so what happens is your immune system starts tagging your own cells with antibodies because the protein on the outside of your cell is similar to the foreign protein that escaped your intestines and got into your body cavity. So this is a problem because even if you fix your intestines, your body now has memory cells that remember that foreign protein and can continue to become confused and attack your own cells. Now, you can have an autoimmune disease to pretty much any cell type in your body, and it's going to vary from person to person, really based on whatever protein they made the original antibodies against. So this is, like I said, this is called an autoimmune issue, meaning your body is attacking your own cells. So this is a problem because those cells can become damaged beyond repair. So very common autoimmune disease is called Hashimoto's Thyroiditis, where your body makes immune cells or fights an immune response, antibodies against your thyroid. And over time, your thyroid doesn't work anymore because it's been destroyed by your own body. And this can happen with all different types of cells. So the medical model is to shut down the immune system or suppress the immune system so that your cells that create the immune response against your own cells, that those don't work anymore. Right? It's immune suppressive therapy. And so this can be done with steroids or even more like serious drugs that are in the chemotherapy family, like methotrexate. And then there are multiple infusion and injection drugs that you take on a regular basis, inject them into yourself, or go into the clinic and have an injection or an infusion. And so this is expensive, and these drugs have all kinds of side effects because suppressing the immune system obviously means that you're going to be more susceptible to other infections because the part of your immune system that mounts a response is being chemically overridden and suppressed. So at this point, I'm going to bring in my special guest, which is actually 14-year-old Dr. Patty Barch, before I received my formal education in science and health, because in order to stay YouTube and social media compliant, I can't really say certain things. So what I'm going to do is bring in 14-year-old Dr. Patty Barch, who didn't know all the things that I know now, many decades later, to kind of put it in perspective for you. So this is my alter ego, and when I was 14 years old, I started my formal education in animal science and biology, and since then I developed like a lot of skills and knowledge, but that's not useful in this situation when it comes to social media. With social media, you really gotta stay basic, and you gotta stay true to the source. So what I want to talk about is this autoimmune issue, and when people get shots, because there's a few different things in shots. So there's like the virus, I said the V word, whoops, or the bacteria, or whatever it is, or the toxin, whatever it is that's the bad guy, the pathogen, like that's in the shots. But there's also preservatives, and so that keeps it from like growing stuff in the vials. But the most important thing is there's something called adjuvant. And the adjuvant is really an irritant. So when that irritant gets injected into your body, what happens is it really ticks off your immune system and creates all this like whole body immune response and all this inflammation. Because if you just put in a tiny bit of that bug into your muscle, like your body's just gonna be like, oh, it's just a tiny bit. But you start putting that adjuvant in there that creates a lot of inflammation, then you get this whole red alert system in your body that you gotta go after that infection and make the antibodies. So when you think about it, like this adjuvant that's in there, the whole reason it's in there is to really tick off your immune system. So just think about it for a minute. Like if you have an autoimmune disease, and when you go to the doctor, what they want to do is go shh, like quiet down that immune system, and they're giving you like chemotherapy to try to keep your immune system from working. Does it make a lot of sense for you to get that adjuvant put in your body that is going to make your whole body like explode with inflammation and really cause a massive immune response? I mean, that's the whole reason that it's in there, right? So I don't know, would it make more sense to just like support your immune system and then like try to get your immune system back into balance, maybe with like, some other things that you're not allowed to say on social media? So anyway, I just wanted to put that out there, that like you gotta listen to all the people that they're allowed to talk on social media. But when you think about it, if you have an autoimmune disease, does it really make a lot of sense to like throw gasoline on that fire so that everything flames up and you get this massive flare? Because I know that other people that in their office, they're seeing a lot of people whose autoimmune issues got way worse after they got the shots. So it's just food for thought, that there might be a better way to support your immune system. And there's lots of like things that you're not allowed to mention, herbs and supplements and that sort of thing. So just know that, use your common sense and think about that, and just understand that the information in this video is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prescribe for any disease or condition. Please consult your healthcare provider or social media fact checker or your elected officials when making wellness choices. Back to you. Thanks for tuning in today. I appreciate you taking a few minutes to learn more about the autoimmune conditions and what may or may not be a good idea. All right, peace out, peeps. Have a healthy day.